Hello, world. This is Talkin Live. Hi, guys. We're glad you tuned in today, and we hope you're going to enjoy the show. We've been recording this for some of the other shows we got coming up, and we also want you all to subscribe to our TV station on YouTube, and be sure and give us comments of what's going on in your world. Let us know if you have anything you would like to question, ask us a question that we might answer, or give you feedback on whatever you would email us and ask us. Hoping as we get more people into the studio working that we'll start going live in Chattanooga at 7 o'clock. But it's more simple for us to record it right now. And also, we'd like you to know that we are going to have a show, just selling stuff for, we have like a store that we sell stuff. We're going to sell online and, basically surplus. And also, we have a website we have built. We hadn't got it going. It's called products. Surplus products for you. That's a tongue twister. But anyway, we have a lot of things lined up, and today we'd like to talk about, Israel, and we'd like to hear feedback on what you got to say about Israel, and email us. And we just think that the attack on Israel was uncalled for. It seems to be where everybody has to get into the game when they have one, and we don't believe in, taking advantage of somebody's house, walking in, taking, like these squatters, they move in. And so we have terrorists trying to squat on other countries, and they're not treating people like they treat others by coming in and destroying and killing, but people has to defend herself. Israel has to defend herself. I know some Palestinian people, and they're friends of mine, and they might disagree with me, but see, that's why this is a free speech network. They might disagree with me on what's going on, but, they let the Hamas build up in their Gaza Strip, there where they live. They protect the enemy that is terrorizing people, the Israelis, and I'm not saying Israel is a perfect nation, but it is God's country. It's all started in Israel. Well, it started with Adam and Eve, but we end up in Israel, that state that is a nation now, and I have friends in Israel too, and I have talked to them, and they have said that they have tried to get along with the Palestinians. Well, if you let somebody come in your country and set up a group of people that's murderers and killers and all that, and they go out and they do that to another nation, not necessarily just Israel, but any nation, naturally you can figure that you're going to have a retaliation by this other country that you have let people that hates this other country to come in and kill, and you know that country's going to retaliate if they're a country that believes in their people and wants to take care of their people. See, Palestinians, if you would not let Hamas build up in your territory, hiding behind your children, behind your families, and we see all these bodies, we see these children suffering. But Palestine, you're building yourself up for your people to suffer by letting some group come in and take over and shoot rockets over to the people you live next to. I mean, it's nothing hard to do to get along. It's a matter of treating one another right. And watching out, see, Pakistan and all these other countries next to India and all that, they're against one another. But Palestine and Israel have been fighting for years and years and years and years. They just can't get along because they got so much hate for one another. But you got to compromise. I don't like a lot of people either, but I don't go down there and try to destroy their home or invade their house. There's a lot of people I don't like. I don't like their ways. I don't like the way they do. I don't like the way they look at things. But I don't go and try to hurt them because I dislike what they are. But, you know, hate does a lot of things. Hate can cause a person to do things that the normal people wouldn't even do. When you got that hate in it, you want to destroy, you want to tear up, and you want to destroy. And Hamas and Iran, they hate Israel. It's like a spirit upon them. They despise the race, the Jewish race. There's a lot of people that we have these riots. They get on the streets, they block the streets, and they're taking up for the Palestine, and they're causing traffic jams and all this kind of stuff. Everybody has the right to protect themselves. Everybody has the right to stand up and say, you can't do this. America today has left their way and their tradition of living, and that's why it's going to hell in a handbasket. They'll forsake the things that they had from the beginning. You know, things that work, that's what you keep on doing it, if it works. But it don't work if you let someone come in, take over, and do things to other people that will cause a repercussion. And that's what Palestine has done. I don't defend Israel for what, if they were doing this out of hate or just doing it because they just wanted to. I mean, it's like the movie First Blood. They draw the first blood, and that's why they have it to pay for it. They let someone draw the first blood. And Israel is a country that believes in God, and they believe, and they do have God on their side. Not because they're good people or great people, but there are good people and great people in Israel. But they're like any other nation. They have people that hate and want to cause problems, just like Palestine. You wouldn't let them in there do that to another country if you and cause your children, I mean, say you're causing your children to suffer, and you're crying out, and I'm watching the news and I see all this misery in Palestine, and it was because you let the devil come and move in your country, your kingdom, and hide out and hide behind you and your children. Cowards. Hamas, you're cowards. That's what you are. You hide behind children and the people of Palestine. You hide behind these children and these women. You're cowards. That's what you are. You go into you set up your evil works in hospitals under the ground and doing all this kind of stuff. You set all that up, and you expect somebody to just sit back and let you just murder their own people? I mean, war is all about killing. That's all it's about. It's all about suffering. And Palestine, you brought it on yourself by letting Hamas move in your kingdom because you hate Israelis. Israelis, you hate Palestinians. And you says this, you let it happen. You caused it to happen. And your children are suffering for your evil ways of letting these Hamas move in there. Iran would do anything they could if they had a nuclear weapon, which they probably do by now because of the administrations we have now.
So you don't think all those billions of dollars we sent to them built nuclear weapons?
Yeah, I mean, you reckon Obama may have another billion or something in cash to give Iran to kill our soldiers and kill the Israelis?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure that's what he wants.
I mean, pay the other radical terrorist groups to bomb, kill, maim other people. Israel has been around since 1948. They become a nation. And, as you know, Jerusalem is a holy city of David. And this has been set up by God's will, not man's will. And it don't matter what you do, how big you get, or how much you hate, there's no way you're going to ever wipe out the Jewish people. Yeah. They're a nation that was chosen by God from the beginning, and you cannot destroy them. Muhammad or none of your gods can ever destroy Israel. Israel is a nation that God picked out and made a nation because they were the first creations in this world. And I don't get where you think your nuclear weapons are all you. Now you can cause a misery on Israel. You can cause all these problems. But did you notice when all those rockets, when it's attacking Israel, those rockets, those drones, did you notice how that Israel was knocking them out before they hit the ground? Did you notice that God directed those projected weapons toward those drones, those missiles?
This is one area that concerns me that the media doesn't bring up. They had to know the result. They had to know we were knock these all down. They're so slow. It was just something to see the media say, "Oh, they launched. They'll be here in a couple hours," and what do you think their end game was? Because they had to know this was going to be resolved.
Well, I got a friend that I could pick up the phone and ask him, what's going on in Israel? What's going on here? What's going on there? He'll tell me. But he don't want me to let nobody know who he is. But I do. I can call him, and I should have called him before I done the show today. I talked to him this morning, and I should have asked him about it. I mean, yeah, one day I called his dad, he was in Israel. And I said, what's going on? He said, well, they're shooting rockets right down the street. I mean, it's a normal thing. It's like rain, They know when it's coming one day, and then the next day they don't know when it's coming. That's the way their enemies are in Israel. Every day, they don't know what to expect because they're hated so much. Why? Tell me why Jews are hated so much. I'd like to know that. And I'd like to know why any nation, any country hates one another so much. And then I think about how unrighteous, how people look at one another and hate them before they know them. You know what? I get into it with my friend down in Israel. All the time we argue about everything. I don't consider him as Jew. I consider him as my friend, and I know his culture. He's tight. Man, he's tight. And he'll tell me, oh, come on under there, get some business, and all that. I said, you're so impatient. He said, yes, I am. But I've dealt with him for 20, 30 years, so I don't pay no attention to him. I do what I tell him I do, and then that's it. And we get along just fine. He sometimes, well, I have to give him this credit. He bought me a car one time and gave it to me to find him some business. And I guarantee I never heard the end of it. So I know the cultures of the world. I know how African Americans think. I've been around them. I spend the night at their house. They spend the night at my house. I know how Colombians are. I know how Cubans are. I know South Koreans are. I know how Russians are. I know how they are. I know their culture. And they're just like everybody else. They're human beings. And Jews own a lot. God blessed them to own a lot. And a lot of people hate them because they own so much. Jews are in the movies business. And they're hated, but they're hated. If a man is worth $1 trillion, I don't hate him. I'm not jealous of him. I think God blessed him that way. And, they hate Donald Trump. because they can't bribe him. Well, I know he's been guilty and charged with all kinds of crimes and no evidence, but this charge. It's just, you know, Donald Trump could be standing at a red light and the light be red and the sign says walk. If he walk across that, he's jaywalking. That's how they are. They hated him so much. I ain't never in my life seen a president hate so much in my life. And it's because he's good for the country. Israelis are good for the country. Palestinians are good for the country.
You bring up Trump. Do you think they'll support him in November or still go to the Democratic ways?
I think they will vote for Kennedy. I believe Kennedy's a good man, but I don't think he is for president. I like Kennedy. I like John Kennedy. I like Robert Kennedy. Of course, the mafia didn't like him, but I think they double-crossed them. But anyway, I don't hate nobody, but I sure can disagree with you. Your color, your race don't have a thing to do with it. And that's what Palestine needs to do. They need to forget. I mean, it's like the slaves. None of us, me, nobody that's alive now had nothing to do with slavery. We don't owe nobody nothing except respect and to love one another. We don't owe nobody nothing. But if you see them down, you lift them up. Don't matter who they are, where they come from. If they can be lifted up. Some people can't be lifted up no more. They can't take kindness and accept it and appreciate it. The border, all this stuff going on. Let who will come and be a good American, but let them come honest and not trying to destroy or hurt us. And it's like this. I hear the FBI, and I'm going to shut up. I hear the FBI say we're in danger of terrorists. Well, whose fault is it? Think about that if they come to your home and kill you. If you go to a red light, they stop and rob you and kill you. Think about that.
It should do that.
Well, I don't know.
I need about 5 more minutes because of the interruption.
Oh, you do need, well, but Palestine and Israel will always have all kinds of problems as long as they don't work together. And working together is to take Hamas, drive them out, protect your family. I hear and I see and I know it hurts so bad for your children to get killed and your brothers, your sisters, your wife in Palestine. But you're bringing it on yourself by letting Hamas come in and set up shop in your settlements. And you're paying for it. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. Their hate is so bad, they don't care how many Palestinians suffer. Same thing with Iran, because they're backing the whole thing. They don't care. how many suffers. These dictators, these people like this, they don't care about you. They care about vengeance of things that there's no merit for. There's no merit for all their. I mean, I got news for you suckers. There ain't no 7 virgins waiting on you. You want to kill a bunch of people and think you're a martyr? There ain't no. I mean, there's a place called hell. And when you do that, that's the place you're going to land if you don't get forgiveness. But see, you got this black, hard heart and all that hate, so you'll never get forgiveness for it.
Yeah, you spoke of that earlier. I thought it was interesting. You're saying war, they were doing at war because of hate. And I just thought back, war used to be about conquering a land and not just because you hate them.
You know, and like Vietnam, it was politics.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Afghanistan, Iraq, politics. I mean, and you know, I've read up about a lot of those dictators over there. They was good to their Gaddafi, man. He took care of his people if they had a need. But see, Biden, he wants to take care of the world and not his own people. And that's where you call something hate, when you don't take care of your own people. Same thing. Biden ain't taking care of his people. Americans. Palestine is not taking care of their people because they're letting the devil come in there and invade their country, just like Biden's doing there. And that is why we have wars and all this thing, because peace is something that some people hate.
Thanks for joining us today. To watch this show again, be sure to visit talkinlive.com. We now have Roku and Amazon Fire TV channels for you to watch from your home TV. Or find more of our recent shows on most any of your favorite social media platforms. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night, world. We will be talking live with you next time. The views and opinions expressed on all Talkin' Live presentations are those of the host and their guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Talkin' Live TV broadcast studio, or by this channel or its management.